It is the rare afternoon recording of Married with Channel's podcast on this 20th of January.
What?
I'm just all thrown asunder because we got a new president as of today.
Oh, yes. Inauguration Day. We're recording on Inauguration Day today, so...
Still can't figure out if this is a holiday or not.
I mean, people make a national holiday out of royal weddings, so whatever.
Yeah.
I guarantee it wasn't a productive day. How about that? Unless you were in the news cycle.
What's weird is I looked it up, and we'll get to the TV shows here in a second. And Inauguration Day is a federal holiday in D.C., Virginia, Maryland, and Louisiana?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Weird, right?
Yep, a little bit.
So let's get into some TV shows. I think this will be a quick one.
Yeah.
Because we watched one full season of one, and the other we tried the first episode.
Yeah.
And we'll start with the other, Bridgerton.
Yes.
Which is it's kind of a hot show on Netflix. Side note, I hear things about this Lupin show. It's almost like a French Sherlock Holmes type of thing. But anyway.
All right, maybe we'll check that one out.
Bridgerton from Shonda Rimes, she of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder? Isn't that a TV show?
I don't think that was hers.
Okay, but she's very successful. She knows what she's doing as far as TV.
Yeah, and can I say I'm a Grey's Anatomy fan? Yeah, I've stuck it out all seasons so far. It got a little kind of silly, but I'm still with it. So
Right, but bottom line. Yeah, I'm not a fan. You are, obviously.
Yeah.
Bottom line is that show's been around for 15 seasons.
16.
Doing something right.
Yeah.
And that's, she's very successful. This one is getting a lot of, Bridgerton that is getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah,
I know people are talking about it.
Yeah, I've heard that other people are watching it and loving it. I was not one of those people. I
don't get the hype. The only hype I can see being relevant and worthy of discussion is the very, very multicultural cast, which is great. You want to see that. But as far as a show is concerned, there's nothing really there.
So there was a lot of other things going on for me while I was viewing this that I didn't even notice that point that you just brought up, very multicultural cast. So yeah, good for them. But there was a lot of other things that were distracting me. So do you want to start first or shall I with my... Let
me start because I think I know where you're going to start. This is kind of us starting together on it. It's too bright. It's too light. There's too much color. And I know that seems kind of like forehead smacky mentioning that because color's good. Brightness is good usually. But as you and I were saying when we were watching this, when you watch a British show, especially a period show, you want it that kind of, not dull, but kind of muted type of vibe and color saturation. Well, because like you pointed out, that those costumes weren't bright back then.
Yeah, like that is appropriate for the period of that piece is, maybe rich, wealthy people had a few pieces that were brightly colored, but mostly, I don't think they wore such vivid hues as what this was. And everything was very bright. The scenery around them, it was just very almost cartoony color for me as a look and a vibe for a show, I guess.
I'll play devil's advocate here. Mm-hmm. Somebody listening to this is going to go, yeah, but there was never, at least that I know, a black duke during that period.
Sure.
One of the main characters is a black duke.
Yeah.
There's also, they were playing modern songs in the quartet.
Yeah, the Vitamin String Quartet.
Yeah. In the little parties, the little soirees. I think one was an Ariana Grande song.
Yes.
Okay, so the argument there is, well, this is hyper reality. They're taking some liberties here, and that's fine.
Sure.
That's your creative choice. Go for it. You go, girl.
Well, for me, it was just too much, though. It was too much color saturation. It was very distracting for me. It was almost kind of sensory overload with the vividness of everything kind of playing off each other.
It was almost like it was bordering on a cartoon.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes.
Aesthetically.
Yes.
And production art wise.
Yes.
I almost think like you could still kind of have it somewhat believable with the inspired casting choices and the modern music that's been, classical musicalized.
Right.
But
stylized,
that visual gaudiness, for lack of a better word, it just kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well, and if you think about period pieces, you think they didn't have a lot of lighting in their homes, and
right.
Everything was like candlelight and very dimly lit for those chunks of eras.
Yeah.
So for me, it just didn't quite work. And I love a good period piece. I love the costumes. I love that they get that stuff right.
And
but this just didn't get it right for me. I haven't seen color photographs from that era. They probably didn't exist. So to me, you're taking too many liberties with what color really looked like in their clothing.
Yeah.
I guess you don't know. I mean.
And I think you'll agree, part of the draw for watching one of these shows is you want to feel like you're there. You're in that era.
Yeah.
You hear the clop clop of the horse carriage on the cobblestone.
Right.
You almost want to be able to smell the charcoal or the coal burning in the factories down the street.
Yes.
It's almost like if you're watching a World War II movie and one of the main guys is wearing a trucker hat. Well, we wanted to modernize it. We want to do like something fresh and different. It's like, okay, but it's just, it's like putting hay, gluing up round hay and using that as a tire on your car. It's like, okay, try something different. It's not working though.
Yeah, it didn't work for me. It was just too distracting from everything else. Can we talk about actual story and plot and kind of the...
Yeah, it was boring until the end.
So, yeah, and I'm sorry to simplify it, but basically the whole point of the show is these families trying to get married into these other families. And it just seems so like, bring us your cattle, here's my best calf.
I think that's historically accurate, though.
I know, but I don't know. To me, yes, those things happen, but it was just... That's the only thing kind of that happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, the whole point of this is just to get married, Yeah. That's the whole premises of the show.
Well, they're setting up the foundation for what the main story is going to be. And the main story is we find out at the end that, and I can't remember their names, the Duke guy and the one girl who's kind of like, yeah, she's got good prospects, but nobody's calling on her except for that doofy kind of annoying guy who slurps his soup. Mm-hmm. So help me out here. They agree at the end.
Yeah.
To
pretend to love each other.
Yeah. So that he doesn't want to get married.
Yeah.
So by him publicly looking like he's with her, he's off the market.
Right.
And by her publicly looking like she's with him, she won't have to marry Doofus.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep.
That's our plot line. That's where we're launching from the end of the first episode.
Well, and I'm not sure, but I think as the gist that you're supposed to watch them actually fall in love, like they actually kind of are. They have this like...
Oh, yeah. That's
ribbing of each other, but yet I think they're attracted to each other.
Yeah, by episode 8, they're going to be making out furiously in private and then knocking boots by episode 9. But then episode 10, there's going to be a big plot twist where... Wait, you're not really a Duke? Roll credits.
Yeah.
See you next season.
And, I typically like narration in a show as well. It just, something about it just didn't work for me here.
Oh, yeah. Julie Andrews narrating is like the gossip columnist.
Yeah. I don't know. I love her and I love the reads that she did for this. It just didn't work here. It almost had a Gossip Girl. You've never seen Gossip Girl, have you?
No.
It had like a Gossip Girl vibe to when she was narrating, like, or at one point my mind flashed to Carol Baskin, like, hey, all you cool cats and kittens, like,
funny. Hey,
all you Elizabethan Aaron single ladies,
crumpets and
like
tea strainers.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. It just that part just also didn't work for me either.
And it reminded me of Sex in the City.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Carrie's doing the running VO.
Yep.
And that has a place. Every script writing article and podcasts I've listened to, they always seem to kind of at least allude to, like, when you rely on voiceover, it's like you're cheating. Like
yeah.
It's show me, don't tell me is a big adage for TV and movies.
Absolutely. And, you know, like, I watch a lot of other shows that have narration, and it's, you know, it does have its place. It has its purpose and it has its place, and it lends itself well to the rest of it. It's not, I don't know, maybe it was a little jarring. I'm not sure how to describe what I was thinking with that. It just felt off, like it didn't fit what I was seeing.
Yeah.
As well.
I think ultimately this show, Bridgerton, is an example of they're trying to do something new and different, but they don't have the meat to really keep you there.
Yeah, for me, there wasn't good, strong, dramatic writing. Like, usually I might stick something out for a story, like, ooh, I want to see how this plays out now. I'm kind of curious, you know, but it just didn't hold my attention there either.
Yeah, even at the end when they revealed kind of like what the series is about.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. But then I was like, this won't hold me.
Right.
I'm only between the aesthetic and this, your plot A.
Yeah.
This isn't really going to keep me around.
Right.
Like, even like shows I don't really care about, like when you watch Call to the Midwife.
Call the Midwife. Yes.
Call the Midwife, or even back in the day, Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about those shows, but I like the feel, the scenery, the costumes. It's like they're in 1872 or whatever the hell.
It's great, you guys. He gets sucked into him too, and I love it.
The Call the Midwife is getting kind of repetitive.
Yes, totally. Yes, they all do.
She's having trouble with her pregnancy. Yes, she is. Okay, we'll call the doctor who's married to the nurse.
Yes, it has its formula too, as they all do. But sometimes they kind of run their course for me. But it's kind of like Grey's Anatomy. Like, I stick with that. I like the medical stuff. I have a healthcare background, and you know, I like it, but at one point it was like, oh, should I keep watching this? This is ridiculous. There's no way that all this bad stuff could happen to all these characters. You know, like It just gets to a point where, okay, it's run its course with plot lines and things like that. And, but at the same time, like, I've already vested 8 seasons or 16 seasons. So you got to kind of stick it out.
You're already in. Might as well finish it out.
Yep.
God, how long is that going to go?
I don't know. I don't know. They should have probably. Which one? Grey's Anatomy? They're on, I think, on season 16 now. So who knows?
You got to go for 20, right?
I don't know.
They got to go for 20.
I don't know how much more writing you can do here.
You can't end it at 18. They've been writing for 16 seasons.
Well, and I think
there's plenty.
It used to be kind of, you know, with every batch of new residents, there would be a new batch of characters to kind of write about, and storylines, and how they kind of progress into their doctorhood, you know.
It's almost like a American Horror Story type format.
Kinda, yeah.
Except instead of changing, you know, venues and locations and eras.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe that's a bad analogy.
Yeah, I was like, it's nothing like that. You gotta take away all those other things. Let's
move on to The Undoing.
Okay.
Bridgerton, just to cap that.
Yeah, we're not going to stick that one out. Sorry, guys.
So, The Undoing.
Yes.
This HBO limited series on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman. You got Hugh Grant.
Yes.
Why is this not more? Oh, there we go. Check on the kiddo.
Yes, I am. Sorry. We're recording while our children are.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention the 9-year-old's watching the 5-year-old.
Yeah, with my supervision as well. We're not leaving a 9-year-old in charge, but
they're right upstairs. We got the camera
on. It's kind of a little dabble foray into babysitting.
Yeah. Someday there will come a time where she's old enough to, like, we can leave the building for a couple hours, but that day is not here.
Yeah, when she gets older, we could go to dinner together.
Yeah, about another 4 years, probably. 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
So The Undoing, Nicole Kidman, Hugh Grant, Donald Sutherland's in there.
Yeah.
You got that one hot chick who gets murdered. Who else am I missing?
The one that played the Stevie Nicks character in American Horror Story was her friend.
And their son was in something recently.
Yeah, I looked him up too.
The Christian Bale, Matt Damon movie. about racing.
Oh, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, he was the son. So The Undoing, Nicole Kidman, Hugh Grant, very successful doctor, psychiatrist in New York City. All of a sudden, some chick in their circle gets murdered. Hugh Grant flees. He's the main suspect. Maybe he didn't do it. Maybe the son did it. Maybe Nicole Kidman did it.
I don't know. The whole time I was like, it's still the husband. I just didn't ever sway from that, except for the one time, and the only time I thought that was when she found the murder weapon in his instrument case. That was the only time where I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I had a moment of like, drop the mic, where the night before we watched that, where she found it in his violin case, I was like, I bet the son did it.
Yeah, you
did.
And
then
the
next day we watched it, I was like, booyah.
I was right. I did also suspect maybe the friend who I mentioned was the Stevie Nicks character in American Horror Story. Sorry, I don't know what her name is. Oh, Lily Rabe? R-A-B-E? How do you say that? Robbie?
I'm going to say Rabe.
Rabe?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry for mispronouncing.
This show was fine.
Yeah.
There was nothing really like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. There were no moments like that. It was very kind of by the numbers. The only thing they did different that I thought was good is kind of subverting the expectation that you're going to be subverted of your expectations. Because.
Well, that's the dog chasing its tail there.
Well, because, hear me out, because Hugh Grant, from episode 2 on, you're like, well, that's the main guy.
Yep.
So it can't be him.
Yeah.
It can't be him. That's too easy.
Right.
But in the end, okay, it was him.
Yeah, you were overthinking it.
Yeah, but that's what you expect these days, right?
Yeah, because, usually there's some sort of plot twist. Oh, that got interesting, sort of moment. But I don't know. The whole time I was like, he totally did it. Let's see if he's going to get away with it. Oh, I bet he's going to get away with it. And that's the part that I was kind of like, is he going to get away with it or not?
He plays a good prick. Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
I'm not even like I'm trying to think back of some of the other movies he did, like what was that one with Julia Roberts? Notting Hill.
Notting Hill, yeah.
Or 9.5 Weeks with
Julianne Moore.
Yeah. Even then, he kind of has this like asshole vibe to him a little bit, but even though he's kind of a foppish, oh gosh, gee willikers, oh my.
Yeah.
I'm just Hugh Grant over here. But
okay.
This one, he really embraces the Prickosaurus.
Yeah, he goes all in on
dinosaur. Yeah.
Jerk face. Yeah. Yep. It was interesting. It was, I think, pretty well done, though. I think there's good acting there.
Except Nicole Kidman in that accent. Like, you could hear that Australian peeking through, which is very surprising because she's usually pretty good about dialing in an American accent.
Yeah, exactly. I did notice it a few times through that. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those shows, like, I think the reason we watch is because there's nothing else really on.
Well, yeah, we hadn't dove into Cobra Kai yet and all that good stuff. So, it just kind of bridged the gap for our regular scheduled things.
It's kind of like murder mystery, Nicole Kidman, good cast. Let's try it, sure.
Yep, we watched it, finished it.
Yeah, so if I had to surmise The Undoing, just be like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Yeah, there's no, like, after it's done to be, I don't want this to turn into an anthology thing, where The Undoing season 2, starring Matthew McConaughey and Maggie Gyllenhaal, Yep. I'm just not pining for that.
Right.
It served its purpose and now it's gone.
Maybe that's why it's just a limited series then.
It's like a TV Band-Aid.
Yeah.
You get a little owie, like, you put it on. 2 days later, done.
Well, it's like, remember the mini-series where they would have like a 2-hour movie each week for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
All right.
Yep.
So, is that it?
I think. Is that all we're discussing today?
I think so.
All right.
Our work here is done. We're going to be back with some more next week.
Yep. Next week.
Maybe we'll have Cobra Kai season 2 done.
Maybe. We are stuck at home with channels.
Hence the show, Married with Channels.
Yep.
Make sure you subscribe with your podcast provider. Give us a good rating. Tell your friends. Share it. Love it. Embrace it. Hold it. Touch it.
Aww.
All that stuff.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time, I'm the husband, Moose.
And I'm Jody.
She's the wife. We'll see ya.
Bye.